I guess you could take it top lane. Actually, to be fair, it was first locked in as a counter to K'Sante on the top side, so that is an option for Wayward.
And Wayward definitely seems the kind of player who'd be willing to bring it out. Hasn't just yet, but again, we need to keep the flex in mind. This was going to be the other duo I'd bring up next, which is, right, we've seen Lucian probably flop a little bit, but J2G were a team who were still leaning heavily into it yesterday. And it seems like for RNG, for LWX, they are going to go in that direction too.
So
crazy enough, it's actually their first time locking in the Lucian Nami for RNG all split.
Wow. That's kind of crazy to think about when it's been so popular, especially at the very start of the split when you'd lock Lucian, the enemy locks Milio alongside Aphelios. We saw quite a bit of Lucian Nami as kind of the final part of that draft phrasing, essentially.
Yeah.
See how it's going to go for them. I like that they're bringing aggression, though, especially against this TF that really is quite a slow pick in the bottom lane.
Exactly, right? And I think a lot of his strength also just comes from the CC that he can then bring, and then you pair it with someone, and it just makes it so you can lock the enemy AD carry down for so long where they have to blow those flashes early on. I like the bans already starting to come out with the buy taken away.
It's just dawned on me. As WE, do you ban the Trundle here? You've got this in Sao this time. Do you have to ban the Trundle that you played in game 1? Surely
That's a good question, right? Like, are you as worried? I mean, and especially having those immobile carries that would be able to be punished. I don't know. I'm curious. I like the buy takeaway since it is Wei, and that is his go-to pick pretty much no matter what. If you're looking at other things that could potentially punish the immobile carries on the side of WE, we of course still have things like Wukong, Jarvan, some of these other picks available, which we have seen Wei lean into, especially that Jarvan. He's already played 2 games of it to split.
I'm pretty sure was Graves banned in game number 1 as well. We've seen a game of Graves, we've seen a game of Viego coming out from Wei. Perhaps a carry jungle angle could be the answer for RNG. It's now WE looking towards potentially a support pick, or you could just go top. And I mean, you've got count pick whichever role you go for at this point, so I guess it doesn't really matter too much which one you go for.
Yes, I was going to say support would actually probably be the safest bet if they wanted to try to lean. But
God, it's TF top.
What is going? You know, I'm actually not as surprised about the TF top is the fact that we actually just get a Jhin out of nowhere. We've had 3 Jhins so far in the LPL, and they have all not worked out.
That's a coincidence, actually. I had 3 Jhins last night. I'm kidding. I'm of course kidding. Yeah, the Jhin does not look good in the LPL. It's been a tough angle for him, but I wonder what support it's going to be. Like, this is such a weird comp, but it's also like really long-range comp from WE. Anyway, Tangyuan goes for the Talia again. That was one of the things that did look good for RNG in the first game.
Yeah, was able to work out. Looks like they might be leaning into finding just a counter matchup in the jungle. Jax, of course, able to do so good in the 1v1 against the Xin Zhao because of that E. And now, I was going to say, I'm curious too, right? Because usually you see a lot of like hard engaged supports come out alongside the Jhin, but Rakan, Nautilus taken off the table. Right now, toying with the idea of some potential pick tools in the Bard and the Ashe would fit. Either one would actually fit their comp really well, right? Bartle coming through the Tempered Fate, you're setting up, you have the Destiny there, you have the Curtain Call from Jhin. Like, so many long-range ways to start fights or catch people out for WE with this composition.
I just love that RNG are like, this is what the meta is, guys. This is what's working. Let's play that. And then WE are like, you know, Darius top first game. Now we're going to Bard support with TF top. Like, just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. And honestly, I love it because when you've got a kind of stale meta, people get into just going through the motions and playing out those same compositions over and over again. When you're playing a totally different style, you can really catch people out.
Yeah, right. And I mean, I love that you went to catch people out, right? Because not only with the different style, but especially with the different style that WE have leaned into with Curtain Call, Tempered Fate, Destiny. Like, hell, Hui's going to be able to join in with the QWs from a screen away. Just a lot of things RNG going to deal with. For RNG, I think we're looking at their jungle and their bot lane to be able to get ahead, right? You have a winning 1v1 matchup, you have a strong 2v2, so I think bringing those things together and really trying to snowball off that bot side is RNG's hope in this game.
Let's see if they can pull it off. I've got to be honest, in a totally impartial commentator kind of way, I don't want them to be able to pull it off because I want this comp from WE I need this comp to win. This is such a wacky comp. This is such a different comp. I need to believe that playing non-meta comps can work in the LPL and will hopefully incentivize other teams to play other non-Cassante compositions. I'm totally here for it. Long range is the name of the game, and picks, as you say. Let's see if it can work out for WE here in Game 2.
敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他们。
Do you reckon that guy's on payroll? They are in WE's arena. Like,
if he isn't,
if
he should be if he's not, right? Like, my God. That man is a believer, as it looks like WE were able to get some aggressive vision down around Wade's Fluma, who's LWX.
Yeah, aggressive start to this one, but Heng is here. LWX forced the flash. He might just go down here, honestly. Heal for movement speed. LWX trying to get underneath the tower. The heal comes out from him. One more auto will finish the job. Stay with first blood.
Ming trying to be a homie to save his AD carry, but it was not enough. And what a great person to end up with the kill. Stay now, having the advantage of this lane. Might even set up for more shenanigans. And look at the minimap. It not only set up for an advantage, but it led to Heng being able to invade and start the enemy red.
This really couldn't have gone worse, like at all, for the side of RNG. The fact that your Lucian army is now behind Lucian, gonna miss at least 1 minion of XP there as well. And all of your summoners on cooldown in that bottom lane. I'm a little bit nervous for LWX this game as well. The fact that he doesn't have cleanse against this composition from WE, that could be really dicey. You expect Ming to go Mikhail's first item, honestly, with the fact he's up against this TF.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to jump into the replay of what went down. Again, W made their way to sort of the top side. We're able to get some deep vision up there to counter what RNG were able to get for themselves. And I guess just not spotting Heng led to RNG having the confidence to look for this play, immediately ignite, exhaust, these types of things traded, but just not ready for Heng on the flank. Flashes forward, runs it down. I thought Ming was going to be able to pull it through with that bit of heal, but the fact that Stay managed to keep in range as well with his own flash was what sealed the deal for WE.
Huge advantage for WE to start us off. What an exciting way to begin the game. Look at Stay's inventory. He's already got his Swifties. It's 3 minutes in and he's got Swifties. He is the fast. That is for sure. I will say, Jhin, one of those champions that you do kind of have to buy the boost of swiftness. Not necessarily going to get a huge damage spike to start the game off. This way, in the bottom side. Are they going to try and dive this? This feels a little bit risky, to be honest. I want the flash.
Heng's close. Heng's not that far.
Oh god, this could go from bad to worse for RNG, but they decide not to go for the play in the end. Gold card in the top side as Wayward is just body and breathe in this matchup. I mean, this is why you pick that Twisted Fate in the top side this way. Now going to be stunned against the wall, rooted as well. Just damage after damage onto the enemy jungler. As Stay and I want literally just 2v3ing the bot side.
Yeah, doing so good. I got to point out the 25% win rate in top for Jax compared to like an 80% in jungle is kind of ridiculous. Of course, jungle sample size isn't all that big. It is only 5 games, but I guess showing it comes out when it is the counter pick, right? When it is the niche pick that can come as a result. So we'll see if that win rate can stay and maybe help RNG push this series to 3. I do Wayward playing on a knife's edge right now.
He's trying to bait because look where Heng is on the map. Trying to move into this top side of Breathe, dashes forward. He's fallen for it. W's back, still has his flash available. And WE are just going to try and crash this wave using Heng's pressure. Let's try and get this wave underneath the tower. Lwandy's here to stop Way, joining in onto the play as well. Flash available for him. The magical journey going to come through, and that will easily be enough to dissuade Way.
And this is one of the things right about Bard, easily being able to roam him around the map early on with that magical journey, just able to do so much, trying to enable and get an advantage of the top side. And it seems like the momentum that WE were looking for with their aggression in Game 1 is not slowing down so far in Game 2.
Certainly not. And I love it. I love how much Lwandy is roaming on this team, and the fact that, you know, this time you're a Bard. Like, if there's a support that is rewarded for roaming regularly, it's Bard. So able to just get out onto the map and play for these grubs now that have spawned. Way tried to start it off, but FoFo Prio in the mid lane. Lwandy once again just roaming around. In the meantime, Ming is down in that bottom lane.
And you hit on Lwandy on the Bard. Bard, another champion that did hit some changes. Now that we're on 14-4, his armor growth was nerfed, so losing some durability as the game goes on, but gained some buffs in terms of damage with this passive in his Q. So might even set up for a slightly more aggressive Lwandy, or slightly unexpected damage able to come through. Stay's been fine by himself for now, but the magical journeyman finally making his way back home.
I like that, the magical journeyman. Good one.
Even serves 2 cups of hot cocoa. I'd love to see it.
Delicious. Absolutely delicious. Stay. Fully enjoying that. That's one of those, it'll warm you right through. Marshmallow at the top of it as well. You love to see it. Lwandy, he's a barista that cares. I'm excited for this top lane though. We've hit level 6 now for Wayward. And Wayward has already been a top laner that likes to roam a little bit. We've seen him on the Darius kind of doing Adam things and moving to other lanes. But also, the most recent series in that win against ADG, he was on that Aatrox, managed to roam down and take out Kanavi on the Krugs as Lwandy zips out to safety. Trap in the brush. They won't be able to clear that ward, but now looking for Honeyfruit. Magical Journey on cooldown. Lwandy playing with fire a little bit as Wayward gets the gold card. Needs to be cautious of that all out, but he'll keep himself safe for now. Way now getting forced back out. WE want to commit to a play. This would be dangerous, but the Magical Journey sets up for a triple bubble. LWX exhausted, forced to flash, Way forced to flash. The CC chain on LWX. I mean, he's rooted for a long time. There's just no damage.
Poor WE. It looks so crazy to go through that Magical Journey up against the Nami. Not going to be able to find anything off it. And look at the minimap. Look how much Tangyuan's getting done in terms of just pushing in mid, even as a plate for himself already.
Stay. Good chunk there. Another route comes through. We have seen in this lane that every time Stay gets the route, he seems to want to go for an auto. Magical Journey. Oh, the bubble hits. Can they deny it? Yes. Heng taken out, and RNG get themselves on the board.
So RNG not only managed to find themselves a kill, but again, with the amount of roaming that's happening, with Lwandy leaving lane, Stays falling a little bit behind in CS, Tangyuan, I think, has been able to find a bit of a lead if both of them catch these waves because of the roam that we saw FoFo go for. So W are trying to make a lot of plays happen, but if they aren't actually finding kills or finding objectives off of it, it's kind of just allowing RNG to find small CS leads in certain lanes. Hell, the CS lead bot's actually big,
yeah. Massive, massive lead for the side of LWX. And to be fair, Stay had that first kill, so they're still going to be relatively even in gold in the grand scheme of things, but I mean, it's pretty nice for LWX to be this far ahead. I wonder what's actually happened. Like, I feel like this is also, from Stay's perspective, like, how have you missed out on quite this much CS? Maybe not that comfortable on Jhin.
Yeah, and I mean, it could be that, and then you add in the fact that Lwandy has just been all over the map, and LWX and Ming may be keeping up that pressure since Ming hasn't been matching all of that aggressively. He's kind of leaned over towards mid a few times, but mostly staying around that bot lane. Also, just constant hovering and constant like threat of aggression being there from Heng if you keep your eyes on the minimap. Actually wrapping his way around now towards Way.
Way on the Gromp for the time being as Heng moves in. Smited by Way, but Way taking a good old chunk, and FoFo is able to move over, so they really have a lot of threat when they want it as Wayward was moving down. The priority in that top side will be essentially infinite for Wayward unless Breathe can find some angle to fall out him across a wall. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Wayward has not leveled his Q as well. He's gone for this build where you just max your E first and you get extra points in your W.
Yep. Good
calling here from LWX. You don't usually say it in the AD carry role. You usually see some points, or at least 1 point in the queue for AD carries, but up top, you really don't need the queue. Oh boy.
Stay forced to flash.
There's been some good bubbles from Ming this game. He's practiced on this Nami.
Which is crazy, right? Because like we said, this is LWX and Ming's first time playing Lucian Nami this split. they're first. And we're at the end of week 5. Like you said, week 1, 2, 3 especially. That's when it was like Lucian Nami against Aphelios Melio. It felt like every other game.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, really. Maybe Kenju came back and was like, look, Ming, we got to dig deep here. We got to go old school. Ming has tapped into the MSI champion within him. He's starting to fire on all cylinders. Tangyuan doesn't get caught by the root. Spiraling Despair is there. Big damage. The flash forced by Heng's W.
Yeah, so not going to be able to get that one. We do have WE with 6 grubs now, but we'll see if they're really able to make use of that anywhere other than top with how much pressure Ming and LWX are keeping up. I like that Wei's kind of staying in the area too, allowing them to push safely just in case that Heng would have made it down himself. We also even have first items already starting to be complete with that Archangels for Tangyuan, and there it is. Even a Static Shiv actually surprisingly being picked up by LWX.
Yeah, LWX going for a wave clear Lucian build.
Yeah.
This is an odd one. But I suppose, I mean, even if you're going all lightning items, you'd go Stormrazor first. Oh no, stay. No flash available either. He is doomed on this one. Tangyuan grabs himself a kill. FoFo trying to pressure in the mid lane to answer, but really nice play from RNG just to punish Stay, who has been, let's be honest, fallen pretty far behind this game.
Yeah, has not been able to find any impact. He's really been kind of the loser of all the roams that WE made. They're going to hover in the area for now. Maybe look for this.
The magical journey means he gets stunned on the rocks. Here we go, Tangyuan underneath the tower. Should be taken down. You'd love to give that kill over to FoFo as well, but Heng actually just going to sneak an extra auto in and grab the kill for himself. You don't mind it on the Xin Zhao as LWX now has moved to the mid lane. And State is here to try and get some of this CS, but once again, alone under the tower, desperately trying to get this farm.
And it's already been 5 plates over to RNG side, and it feels like the name of the game so far has been WE like grouping up, trying to make a play somewhere, not really being able to lock a target down, have the damage, whatever it is. And it's kind of allowing RNG to just have these small rotations that are better, finding more CS, finding more turret plays, which makes it all the more surprising that they're still down so much in gold. We need to remember Wayward obviously on the TF is really going to distort that a bit, but I'm still a bit surprised that RNG aren't even, if not further up themselves.
Wayward looks for an opportunity onto Breathe. Once again, needs to stay away from those walls, but oh man, the damage you do on this TF is just kind of disgusting. That plate on 1 HP as well. This could be a double plate push for Wayward if he gets a little bit of time on the tower, but Breathe's not actually going to reset. Play in the area as well. I expect him to push too aggressively.
I think it's kind of looking at the map holistically. WE have actually gotten a lot of turret plates for themselves. 2 down bot, about to be 3 in top, or maybe it was 3. I don't know if he finished the last one off or not. 1 in mid. So I guess that's where kind of small gold lead is coming from. But WE still keeping up a lot of the counter jungling. Iwandi needs to be careful.
Tangyuan nearly managed to steal that one. Iwandi, the magical journey, sets up for his flash. Does get out with his life, but did feel a little dicey for a second as Stay pushes in the mid lane, and it opens up WE to push towards the spot lane tower. Tangyuan realizes that this is not a play he can stick around for. FoFo already got 1 plate in that mid lane. I believe both of these bot lane plates actually were FoFo pushing after LWX moved to the mid lane as well. So FoFo is quietly becoming an incredibly strong carry.
I mean, out of nowhere, just got a bounty on himself too after finishing off another one. So that seems like a very likely situation. Also, that whole time, Wayward was actually hovering around bot side river, which made it only more dangerous for RNG to stay around. So I love the pivot from RNG. Move up towards top side, pick yourselves up a Herald, and leave Breathe to his own devices to just eat the pressure.
Just FoFo one-shotting the wave and moving away. Breathe farming underneath that tower is, like you say, Wait, grabs himself the Herald, grabs the Scuttle Crab. He'll be able to try and use that for pressure somewhere on the map. It's about a 2,000 gold lead for WE. And it's fun to see WE playing a different style to the first game as well. Not as aggressive, not as like outright run in with this composition, but you know, it's quite a different composition. You can't really play the same style. I'm a little bit nervous about the mid game here. Lwandy takes a chunk, the roots not going to hit as the curtain call lands. LWX tanks it, takes a few extra shots as well. Oh, the wall! knocks Stay out of his ultimate here as Breathe tries to get in, but the Magical Journey should be able to get the team out of dodge. Lwandy zips away as a root comes in onto Tangyuan. The lightning bolt hits as well. Heng forces the flash away, jumps onto the backside as well. Wayward in trouble, but he survives for the time being. And the spiraling despair is exactly the emotion that RNG feel.
And WE were able to hold that off in a 4v5 and buy enough time for FoFo to get there. Now pressuring mid, Dragons up. They should be able to turn to that. Low health bars might make them question the decision, as we can see Wayward recalling, doesn't have TP. So if anything did break out, but looks like RNG actually aren't even going to contend. Trying to
and I feel like just staying that little bit extra in the mid lane as well, just trying to get a bit of harass down, like kind of almost like muscling a little bit just to make sure that RNG aren't willing to go for that trade. Let's take another look, as this felt messy, so many flashes to start it.
And so many things missing, right? Tempered Fate doesn't land, Bubble doesn't land, the knockback there from Tangyuan not able to connect. Heng's ult is going to buy them a lot of time from any damage able to come out from the Talia. And it's kind of this that mattered. They got enough time for FoFo to come through, who you pointed out is the big playmaker. Sure, RNG think they find Wayward. It was so close, but the spiraling despair and the slow that it gives was enough to allow the other members to follow through.
I can't believe Heng has taken that kill, man. Spiraling despair is on him. FoFo's fed. There's no way he's surviving that, and Heng W's to take the kill. Oh no, the bottle as well from Lwandy. Can we U-turn this and go back mid? I think they're going to just take it to the bottom lane instead.
I was actually hoping they would.
Yeah, nice bit of driver there. At least the Herald pulls them down to the bottom side. And that will get a charge now on the tier 2 because the tower died near it. Even though it didn't actually do anything on the tower, it will regain its charge.
Yeah, you can see it looks like Bree's going to help that one go through, but Heng and FoFo, different angles, aren't going to be able to do anything in the end because RNG still just have full control over the spot side with Way waiting in the wings.
I'm looking towards Wayward at this point in the game as well. Stack shift finished off. This is going to become a problem. 6 grubs for WE with a TF on their team. That is going to cause a lot of pain in the side lanes. Stay a chunk there from LWX as well. And I feel like RNG, I'm curious what the game plan is going to be, especially with LWX going for this weird Lucian build. Like, I don't know if that's some kind of indication of a different style that they want to play, like instead of going for the full burst. Maybe they are going to go for the full burst, but felt like they needed some wave clear to deal with what WE are bringing. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think coming up with any logic for it just, I feel like you're just going to end up missing out on a lot of damage that you would otherwise have, you know, with like the Storm Razor, the IE, sometimes people go Navori, like whatever it is, instead of going, I mean, the TF build or the build we see on AD LeBlanc, or, yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how this one works out. And it's starting to make more sense maybe why RNG have not played Lucian Nami at all this split.
Because LWX hasn't even Googled the builds, is that what you're saying?
Maybe, I'm not, you know, we'll see. They are 2K gold behind right now. They aren't down and out, but haven't been able to find the lead. Heng.
Oh, Heng starts the engage. The calling on to Stay though, but he's got so many cups of cocoa. He'll keep himself alive as Tangyuan flashes out the top side of the play. Breathe pretty much alone as Stay the target. Ignite is ticking, but I don't think it'll be enough, and Breathe will finally fall. It's a double kill for Wayward. This TF started to get scary.
And I love how WE are kind of just using, ooh, Lwandy. You gotta chill out, brother. Is WE still gonna keep trying to go getting some damage down? But I love that WE are using Stay as like bait. That is all he's for. And all the other members are actually the ones getting on the back line, dealing damage. Stay's job is only to stay alive and let these other members take over. Yeah. Now another turret broken down, and bigger gold lead to contend with.
Honestly, it's great to see Jhin used like Jhin should be used. I feel like it's a long time since I saw a team actually playing Jhin well. Like, so often you see Jhin just used as a front-to-back AD carry, and that's really not where he's strongest. He wants to be played at maximum range. You want to be getting value out of that ultimate, and I feel like this composition really sets up for the Jhin to get that value.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 things we know about Jhin. Long-range picks and flanks from Wanfall. Really the only 2 rules of playing.
Flanks from the enemy base, yeah.
Yeah,
that's really was.
Here. I mean, really nice engage. Like you're saying, the curtain call comes out to start things off with the slow. He gets forced away quickly, but with Wayward on the flank with the Destiny, they're just in such an awkward position. And, you know, you can see, we're not seeing it on our screen now, but LWX and Ming kind of not exactly knowing what their roles should be in the fight. It's like, hey, do we just keep denying and dissuading the Jhin from walking forward? Or should we actually help out with our team and like peel for the rest of our members?
Oh, root onto LWX. He's gone. See you later. Yeah, during the fight, it's like LWX is there, like, how am I meant to static shift the minion wave if we're fighting a river, guys? What's the point of this build if we're actually going to fight them? I don't know. Weird game from RNG, weird game from LWX, and again, I already talked about maybe you have to go Mikhail's first item for Ming. That is exactly why, because once you're caught on this Lucian, you're going nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, right, gold card, the tons of ways that Hui could lock you down, like so many different things you have to worry about. Once you're locked down, once you are screwed.
And, you know, the thing is, you kind of need to go Imperial Mandate, right? That's the argument against it. But if your Lucian's not building damage anyway, that doesn't really matter too much. So this is a big play from RNG. They're sending everyone to try and get FoFo and Lwandy. They're going to finally take this bard down. That's his first step of the game. He's been close many times, but finally finished off.
One kill went over though, but at the same time, WE picked up another dragon, and we also just saw Wayward get a turret. Curtain call opens.
There you go, lightning bolts from the sky as well. Way taking a chunk. And to be fair, Stay is starting to do a lot of damage. That lethality Jhin coming up big. LWX just trying to get these procs, trying to survive. Oh, the rune lands! The lightning bolt from the sky. The cards are in. And it looks like Destiny is going to be a victory for WE at this point.
You know, it might have been a rough laning phase for Stay, and right, we were trying to give some amounts of like caveats and silver linings with like Lwandy roaming so much, but he's really been so on point with these roots connecting. 0-4-0 for LWX. It has been rough. We know for RNG, they tried to bring in LP for a series. It didn't work out. Immediately pivot back to LWX. And again, it's a shame because I really feel like the story for RNG coming into the year should have been getting Ming back, you know, maybe trying to make a push towards like an upper playoff finish and seeing how far they could go. But I don't know if it's meta. I don't know if it's, you know, behind the scenes dynamics, but things really just have not worked out the way that this roster should work out on paper.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been disappointing through and through, right? Like, I think anyone who's been a fan of this RNG roster, anyone who watched, you know, that MSI run,
anyone who believes Ming,
time ago now.
Anyone who believes that Ming deserved those 2 MVPs, but hey, he didn't get them. WE though, out of nowhere, starting up a Baron. Doesn't look like they're really going to commit too heavily towards it.
You know, with a Jhin, you wouldn't expect him to do it fast, but with the TF from the top lane, they certainly can. Wei dodges the gold card. Ming, golden on the backside, the Crescent Guard keeping Hung alive as Wayward threatens on the front line, and LWX is gone again. There goes Ming as well. The damage out from FoFo's ult is disgusting. A double kill as Wei is slowed and will be taken down. Surely Lwandy finishes it. The flash from Wei keeps him alive. This is a massacre.
And if there's one thing that WE's comp could do right is turn with the amount of ways to lock you down. They showed us right there, and now they are going to be able to actually claim this Baron and start breaking down RNG's base.
You know, Stay may be like 50 CS down, 60 CS down, but who cares? Who cares when he's team fighting like this on the Jhin? It is beautiful to see.
I agree. I feel like the most important thing is, like, are you doing your job on your champion? And he is. We see WE here trying to draw them in. This was clearly a goal the whole time to buy a fight. Tempered Fate comes out, but Nami ult shuts it down. The first thing to notice, though, is Heng's ult doing so much to make sure that RNG can't land any damage. And then once Wayward gets involved with the gold card, they can just keep following through. Spiral and Despair got used, and then FoFo able to keep going with the QW. God, everything just working out so well. I love seeing the way that, like, these... Again, like, Wayward runs up and immediately able to Destiny from behind. Like, so many different angles that RNG just can't keep track of.
What a performance from WE. You know, they took that game off of JDG, and to me, like, this has been a solid roster, don't get me wrong, but the win against JDG, or at least the game win against JDG, felt like, you know, JDG making a few mistakes, well punished by WE, but is this going to be, you know, replicatable? I don't think that's a word, but... I'm sure people know what I mean.
I think the most exciting thing on that note is the fact that WE have like beat bottom tier teams like EDG, beat mid to top tier teams like IG, and brought it to JDG, right? They've shown they can kind of compete at every level, and now this win over RNG is only going to cement that even more. Hell, with this win, they'll be 3-1, would stay on the roster.
I mean, counting chickens a little bit, they're only 9,000 gold up at 25 minutes with an inhibit Baron. Like, and this is not over yet.
You're right. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself.
If there's one thing we know RNG for this split, it's coming back when the odds are against them. I will say, with the Talia and the Nami, Stay just never gets to stick in his ultimate this game, does he? LWX in trouble, Ming taken down as FoFo looks for a little bit more on the back line. They've separated RNG and they are picking them apart. A double kill for Stay. Give him the quadra, he's on the Jin, we need to see the 4. I don't think it's gonna happen this time as they're just looking to end the game. WE, clean stuff in this series. 2 totally different compositions, 2 comprehensive wins. This team is a team to watch in the LPL right now. Team WE living up to the organization's reputation from all those years ago.
Yeah, 6-3 now. Like, God, what a good start for WE. WE also trying their best to like keep us moving forward, right? Because we are in 3 stadiums today. Xi'an now, Suzhou next, back to Shanghai at the end of the day. And WE made this easy work. It was a bit messy at times, but the thing I liked about it is WE kind of look like the opposite of most teams we have in the league right now. Like, even if you have a team that maybe is a bit disciplined, like, I don't know, maybe come with a team like LNG, they aren't super proactive. They don't always look like they have an idea of how to move the game forward. And I think a lot of teams like that are like that in LPL right now. Hell, RNG being one of them. Even if it's not always clean, even if it isn't always the best thought out plan, WE are always trying to do something. And I love that.
And I feel like they need to consistently do that even against the top teams, because I've said this a couple of times now on cast, I'm going to say it again. If we, as a region, are going to look good when it comes to MSI, we need more than what